Good morning, beautiful people. It's Pretty Girl Love Trap content here. Thank you for coming through. I hope you all are having a good day. Let's see here. Bear with me one moment, please. All right. Yes, you guys. So, my apologies for the delay. So, if you don't mind, please liking the video, subscribing, do all the things to support your girl. I want to thank you, Daria, Demarcus, Mr. Jones, P. Nicole. Hope y'all are doing well. Thank you for always showing up in the chat. And yes, let's get into the things when it comes to Raising Kanan, season 4, episode 10, also known as the season finale. So, we got to get into some things, you guys. I'll reserve my overall thoughts on the finale later on. But let's just get into the episode, okay? So let's just start off where we picked up, right? So this scene right here, you guys. So Rock and Lou, they're at Neek's spot. Of course, Rock tells Neek, yo, we gotta talk, okay? She was like, you've been talking to my son, okay? So I'm gonna need you to leave him be. This is about me and you, okay? Mano y mano. Like, it's giving Cassie. Tell me if you like it. Me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I want to make a move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. It's giving Cassie, like just me and you. So leave my son out of it, right? And he was like, oh, this be over here trying to lecture me about family, right? And he pretty much telling her how trash of a mother she is, that she ain't ish as a mother, she ain't ish as a hustler. And he looks to Lou very subtly, talking about, oh, I bet you ain't know I've been hitting that. I said, okay, all right, Unique. All right, Unique. You're doing too much, okay? You're doing too much. And he's being very explicit and unnecessary in terms of the details on how Raquel likes her peen, okay? And he was like, yeah, she over there even called me daddy. And I said, Raquel, you got the poker face, okay? But I would have been all right if you'd been like, yeah, you could have been my baby daddy, but I murked your baby, okay? She could have like really gut punched that behind, but she chose not to. Her Lou is over there with the poker face now. Lou seemed like he was like trying to figure out, like, you for real, Rock? You over here boning the guy that we've been beefing with, that we've been at war with for the past umpteen months? Like, what is going on here? Is the dating pool that horrible? But I love the fact that Lou just be keeping his cool. That's how he is. Him and Marvin are definitely, contrast in that way. Marvin, he has anger issues. He's over there. He's very reactive. But Lou, he's going to keep it cool, calm, and collected for the most part if he's sober. Okay, let me just say that. The sober Lou is going to keep it calm, right? So speaking of Lou, it wasn't bad enough that he's over there tearing a new one out of Rock. He over there, he going to transition the disrespect to Lulu. And he was like, oh, Lulu, since when you found enough gall to get off the bottle? You was over there sucking that bottle like a glass, you know what? Okay? He calling him P, everything. I'm like, yo, Unique. I don't know if it's that liquor you drinking or what, but you're being mad disrespectful right now. And he tells, and Lou was like, oh, I'm standing with my family. Like, Unique, I'm right here. Like, and that's the thing. They not even strapped, okay? They're not even strapped. And I'm sure is no less than 12 blickies in that establishment, okay? And they're still holding their own, okay? And I'm talking about Lulu and Raquel Thomas. And he was telling Rock, like, yo, you don't get to tell me what to do. We not in the bedroom unless you want me to hit it again. I said, this is the problem you need. You not saying nothing about business at this point. You pretty much is butthurt and your ego is pretty much bruised, okay? You are brokenhearted. That's what this is. You are brokenhearted. You got it so fixated in your mind that you're just like High Post and you're just like Def Con that you probably thinking, oh, I didn't mean nothing to her. I was just a lick. Meanwhile, those rumors are alleged. Okay, we don't know if Raquel had anything to do with the demise of High Post and Def Con. Okay, those are rumors I typically hear out of Unique's mouth and or Pernessa, which I'm sure came from Unique. Okay, so yeah, this is an issue. Okay, and she was like, all right, time for me to open my mouth because I've been quiet for too long. She was like, all right, Neek, we both got family. Okay, and I can get to yours. And he was like, yeah, speaking of family, Kanan came by here talking about he want to work together. He want to be partners. Ain't that something, Rock? Your son is your own enemy. And I'm making your whole world fall apart. And when I'm done, ain't nothing going to be left. She was like, all right, you've been warned, Ninja. You have been warned. And at that moment, I would think Unique would have enough sense to beef up security when it comes to his own family. Because it seems like this whole episode, he was underestimating her. Which I don't know how you so-called claim that she set you up. The way you're acting as if she already beat you already. So it would behoove you to make sure your peoples are good. Merely just having someone take mama to and from dialysis, that's not enough, Neek. You need to have security with your peoples. Have them at the door, in front of the building, somewhere. Make sure Pernessa always got somebody with her. But you're not doing that because you kind of like Kanan, you stuck on the wrong thing. You worried about hitting it again. You should be worried about Raquel hitting up your family. So Rock and Lulu, they leave, and she was like, yeah, we're going to see who be calling who daddy. Go see where Pernessa and little Romy roam at. See where they resting their head. And Lulu had the little sinister grin like, say less. Say less, big sis. I got this. Because I know Lulu wanted to put two to the head over there when Unique was over there talking crazy. I'm just saying. DeMarcus, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. You say Unique basically said cancel that bitch to Rodney Brown. Yeah. But he is really talking out his behind. I mean, he don't really want to murk Raquel. How many times has he been able to do so? And he has not done so yet. And yes, we could argue that he's over here just trying to make her life miserable and, cut her off at the knees. But nah, he could have been murked Raquel. Okay, Cortland, what's up? You said, I wish we could have saw Marvin's reaction to Unique and Rock. Yeah, I've been saying that too. Like, I think I was on Miss K's channel when I was, just curious as to if Marvin even knows the relationship between Unique and Rock, because multiple times Stefano has mentioned, while Marvin has been in the room, like, hey, I hope your sister, I hope, Rock's feelings towards Neek won't get in the way of things. And I'm not sure if Marvin is really picking up what Stefano was putting down. Like, I don't know if he's thinking, oh, because Rock and Unique have a history, him saving her life and all the beef or what have you. But Stefano actually knows they are, they have been romantic. So, but Marvin is smart dumb, so I don't know if he really picking things up. It's giving Kanan a little bit. Like, he'll pick things up, but at the same time, he won't do anything in it. He won't further the thought. Right? So, HEA, what's up? You said, I thought someone from Unique Camp was following Lou. Really? I didn't catch that, but hey, you never know. Monica M, what's up, boo? You said Pernessa and his son are always an afterthought. That's the thing. We have not seen Unique with Romy roam all season. All season. You heard over here vividly expressing your sexual encounters with Raquel Thomas, but I have not seen you help Romy roam with one multiplication table. We already know he is in love with Rock. He may love and have love for Pernessa. strictly as a baby mama, or, you know, just, I mean, they pretty much probably family at this point, you know, that's how it is when you know, have a baby together. But at the end of the day, we already know where Unique heart lies, right? So let's move over to Kanan and Juke, child. Kanan over there distraught. He over here turning the trap house upside down. It is already nasty as hell. You can already tell Crystal ain't been up in there because they got Chinese food and stuff all over the place. And, you know, we didn't see the conversation per se, but we know that he just found out about Crystal because Juke found that information out about Detective Garcia. So Juke is over there trying to console Kanan. Like, it seems though she never seen Kanan physically distraught like this. Like, you know, he slick talk all the time, but physically throwing things around in the room, just so aggressive and angry. Like, she looked scared. Like, she looked nervous, right? And this fool sits down and, you know, he's crying on her. Like, it was a touching moment. I love to see them physically able to connect in that way, even though it was under, you know, bad terms. But he had the nerve to pretty much say everything. You know, he's like, well, it's just not about it. It's not just about Crystal. It's about everything. Everything that I love gets taken away. And she always the one doing the taking. I said, look at here. Like, Kanan, I don't know. Tariq was up there, but he's definitely probably surpassed Tariq in terms of the annoying award, because, bruh, what? Are you kidding me right now? And he was telling Juke, like, yo, Snap and Pop said she took out Fame. We know she took out D-Wiz. She took out my father. She probably even did OC. I'm like, y'all are the worst detectives ever. Like, y'all would never play a game of Clue around me, because what? And don't get me wrong, I am fully aware on how things look from Kanan's point of view. He's a kid, he's a borderline idiot, and his brain is not fully developed, right? And he's seen his mom do some savage things, but for the most part, and Rock has lied to the boy. I get it. She done plotted and schemed and all the things. But when it comes to putting people down and murking folk, Rock, for the most part, is not really going to hide it. She murked your daddy in front of your face, right? Cool. You eventually found out about D-Wiz because she told you, because you was talking too reckless. Because she was trying to spare your little feelings. But even Juke was like, bro, like, what does Crystal have to do about business? When it comes to Rock, she normally makes decisions regarding business. But of course, Kanan ain't trying to hear about that at all. And then she further states, I don't know if you even buy, you know, Snap and Pop's information. Like, them old people always has an angle. They could be putting that issue in your head and twisting your brain around. And of course, he's like, the only person been twisting my brain around is my mother. And I know her better than anybody else. And so do you, Juke. And I'm like, see, this is the thing. Juke be having the answers. But she's so enthralled and encompassed in terms of Kanan's emotions. This episode, we've seen her waver. And it seems like her logic is kind of going out the door. It's like you are regressing a little bit, Juke. Like, what's going on here? It's like her logic is going out the window and she's allowing the emotions to take in as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand, you know, Kanan is pretty much her little brother. So it's understandable that she's taking on his hurt. But Juke, I just expect you, of all people, to be able to speak some sense into him. And she's trying to, I don't even say she's trying to, she's saying things, but she's not honing in on it. And granted, she's not 100% sure that Rock is not guilty, but she's on the right track. In this episode, all we've seen is Juke having the answers, but not asking the right questions. Kanan constantly asking the right questions, specifically to snapping pumps, but not being able to formulate the answers. It's like if you guys come together and really start talking details, we can figure this ish out. Hey, Dale, how are you? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Bear with me one moment, y'all. Okay, so sorry, my phone is blowing up. My apologies, guys. This is annoying. This is annoying. But anyway, let's move on to Marvin and Stefano. Marvin goes to Stefano's, restaurant, and he's apologizing, right? And he's like, yo, I know you pissed off with me, but just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Early, you can't trust that mofo, okay? He's lying to save his ass. And Stefano was like, bro, that's your man's. That's your man's in them. And you brought him to me because you said he was trustworthy. So what is it? What is it? And at the end of the day, Stefano was like, it is neither here nor there at this point. Like, what's done is done. You vouched for him. I told you that was your man's. Whatever happens, that's on you. And it really looked like Marvin was about to cry during this meeting. He was going to cry in the court. Like, the waterworks happened a couple of times when it comes to Marvin. But finally, I think he realized he genuinely just effed up. And that goes to, part of the conversation that Rock was having with Juke about the trend of Marvin. You messy. You inserting yourself in situations where you're not even knowing what you're going to land. Like, you always looking one step ahead versus 12 steps ahead. You don't have no foresight. Because you should already have known this was going to cause some conflict at some point. Even just dealing with Stefano without Raquel knowing. Like, this is her distributor, low key. Really, I would say logistics coordinator per se. You know what I'm saying? It's her business partner. You really thought you was going to be able to have a long-lasting relationship with this mobster and not interfere with Raquel's business? You thought everything was going to go smooth? Marvin, you've been in this game for how long? How many times has shish gone wrong? Especially in the past year or two. You know something always going on. You said that to Juke. And you know you're a classic F up. But I don't know. I really don't know if Marvin realizes he's an F up. Like, this is the thing. Like, I don't know. Does he have that self-awareness? Ugh. So Stefano was like, you know what? I should have never even gone to business with y'all. He pretty much wanted to say y'all movies, but he was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a sucker for a pretty face. My peen don't even work no more. And I'm still operating based on that. Now, New Jersey think they could go toe-to-toe with me, and that's not good. So tell Raquel Thomas, I am done. It's finito. This is no more, okay? No trucks, no boats, no planes, trains, automobiles, nothing. We are done. And so Marvin, he really is feeling bad. He's like, nah, we can fix this. We can fix this. But Stefano was like, Giorgio, get him out of here. Get him out of here, okay? Whisk his hard bottoms to the car, okay? Because I'm done. I am done. So we see Kanan over there at grandma's grave, okay? Got a little rose or what have you. And he over there talking about, grandma, I'm sorry I didn't really come around at the end. It was just too much. I said, yo, punk ass. We ain't seen you at grandma's house not one time. Because you too sorry to see her in that state. That is BS, Kanan. You are trash. You are trash. You couldn't spend 5 minutes with grandma? Oh, okay. So he's further talking to her, pretty much just asking for forgiveness, not permission, okay? He was like, I know you told me that's my mother, and I'm supposed to be over here, just disrespecting her, but so much has happened, grandma. Like, you don't know what's been going on. You've been at the house, collecting your funds, chilling. It's been real out here in these streets, grandma. And I don't know what I'm about to do, but I just know I'm going to have to ask you to forgive me, okay? And I'm like, Kanan, don't play with me. Kanan, don't play with me, because what you talking about, you don't know what you about to do. Okay. Meanwhile, his mother is over there talking to Uncle Erwin at one of the restaurants, right? And so he was like, Quan got put down. David got put down. Like, how many people is going to die because of your business? And of course, Rock, she's not taking no accountability. She was like, well, David, he was into all types of stuff. And Quan, it's the gambling business. It's dangerous, right? So, of course, she thinks throwing money at the situation is going to help. She was like, you know what? I could give you some more points. We can make this Fort Knox, which that was something you claimed to do previously, Raquel. That ain't even work. Right? So Erwin was like, yo, I'm done with you. And she was like, nah, you jumped in, my boy. Like, this is Bloods and Crips. Like, this is Vice Lords. Like, you can't be just talking about you gonna leave. Like, this is for life. Bad marriage for life. Is definitely Will and Jada up in here. Like, what are you talking about, Erwin? You don't get that choice. You're not scared what I can do to your peoples? He was like, well, about that. My peoples is over there in China. Okay, I done sent them packing a long time ago, okay? And I'm the last and only one here. And if you want to do something to me, that's fine, because I'm old and gray any goddamn way, okay? And so Rock was a little taken aback, like, excusez-moi, like, you over here being proactive. And I do like the dialogue that Erwin was kind of spitting to her. He was like, yo, when it comes to Chinese mythology, there's a monster, and I think it's Hundun, whatever, right? And, he pretty much state like, this monster is blind, is deaf, is faceless, is a faceless demon, it's chaotic, it's evil, it runs around corrupting and polluting everything that it touches. And he was like, for me, like, the scariest part that is not a demon and what it actually does is the fact that this demon does not even see itself. Like, it doesn't know it's a monster, just like you. And Raquel immediately was over there clutching her fake pearls, because that really touched her. Like, Raquel Thomas was a part of a lot of tough conversations this episode. And you could tell that hit her hard. That really hit her hard, because on some level, I feel like even though she threatens Erwin, I feel like there's still a level of respect, and she recognizes his wisdom. And she was like, oh shit, like, like, she couldn't even rebuttal that situation, because she's like, ooh. And I think she kind of, and for lack of honestly, guys, she is a monster on some level. She is evil on some level. She thinks she can be in situations where she can destroy these families, and not necessarily on purpose, but it's by proxy on some level, because when you're in this business and you have enemies and you're shaking and moving all types of directions, things tend to happen. Bodies may fall. But at no point does she feel any sorrow or, try to comfort in a genuine manner. She just like, oh, well, let's move on. Next, you know what I'm saying? Is just, she's heartless. She's cold on some level. And yes, to be a drug lord, you kind of have to have that quality and that trait, on some level when it comes to business. You can have a heart, but, and Kanan also had dialogue as well. I believe was this episode. Like, when you start to feel in these streets, that's when you could get caught lacking. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to shut your emotions off on some level to even be successful, or to be able to think in a certain manner. So Rock is a monster. Granted, she's over here already polluting the community, right? But she's not just, and don't get me wrong, I'm from the hood, so don't get me wrong. I do come from the thought, and this is bad. I'm not going to say this is the right train of thinking, but this is how I used to think coming up because I came up in the family of drug dealers and drug users. So I come from the mindset, hey, if guy A ain't gonna sell it, guy B gonna be right there selling it for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be somebody there to sell the work. I know it's wrong, but it's always gonna be a position filled, right? So if it ain't Rock, it's gonna be somebody else. Still bad, but somebody's gonna be doing it, right? But I was also thinking in this episode, even though she's being accused of a lot of things that she is not guilty of, on some level, this is karma. Because you destroying the lives of the drug users, right? Even though it's technically kind of their choice to use the drugs. And you're also on some level destroying the people you're working with. Not on purpose, but it's happening because of your business. So, you know, this I think was one of the biggest reality checks that she received this episode. And I liked it. I liked it. I really did like what he had to say to her. Now who I didn't like in terms of the dialogue is Garcia popping up on Juke. And I'm like, God damn, Juke, he always popping up on you at this pizza shop. Like, I'm gonna need you. Don't get me wrong. When you know, if you got a favorite spot, you gonna go to it, okay? I have my own little pizza shop across the street from, you know, where I live, so I get it. You ain't trying to go too far for no damn pizza, but Juke, I'm gonna need you to switch it up, get some Chinese food, some Caribbean food or something, girl, because Garcia is on your ass, okay? You probably going there like clockwork, and he knows he knows you're gonna show up, okay? And I'm like, if you throw this goddamn pizza away, it's gonna be problems, okay? Juke, you could probably beat my ass, but we gonna fight if you throw this pizza away. She probably didn't eat it. I ain't gonna hold you. She probably didn't eat it. But long story short, Garcia was like, yo, Juke, I need to talk to you about that girl you asked me about. What did you know about her? And she was like, yo, we was just friends. We used to sing together, whatever. And he states that, you know, the fact that you're asking about a girl who showed up dead makes you a person of interest. And I'm like, Garcia, get the hell out of here. You think Juke is at a point in her life, in her wisdom, that she gonna be over here self-snitching or really ask a cop about a whereabouts of a girl that can possibly link to her in terms of her being guilty? Like, get out of here, Garcia. Like, you need to go into the detective, power detective heaven, because I'm tired. Like, when are we gonna dead this guy? Because he is over here corrupting these young minds and getting their brains all polluted for no reason. But at the same time, I gotta hold Juke accountable. Because the mere fact that Garcia told Juke that a tenant showed or a tenant saw a Black woman leaving an apartment where they think her friend was murdered pissed me clean off. Because one, you're not even sure if this is the crime scene. Why are you not sure? Are you lying, Garcia? Are you sure? Are you not telling these people they're sure? Because we know there was, unless popping them was cleaning up the evidence, which I hope they did. But don't be over here talking about what you think. I need you to be sure. Like, what's going on here? So he even starts accusing Juke about this. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not sure of the racial demographic of that particular neighborhood at that time. But at the end of the day, Crystal's a Black woman. So 9 times out of 10 is either going to be a Black man or a Black woman that's guilty of it. So it's a 50-50 chance that a woman has something to do with it. And not necessarily being the doer. She could have helped. She could have facilitated. But y'all not even going that far. Y'all just saying a tenant who even know what type of tenant it was? Was it an old person? Was it a kid? Was it a drug user? Like y'all not being specific. Y'all being very much vague and throwing this information around all willy-nilly. Like, what are we doing here? What's up, Dale? You said Edgemere is far. Okay, that's Far Rockaway, Queens. Okay. You said definitely mostly black on that side. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to assume. But thank you for that input. And that's what I was assuming, but that's what I'm saying. Crimes are normally committed. And that's sometimes what they get skewed, especially when it comes to the media. They talk about this black on black crime. But people are going to commit crimes most likely to people or with people that they are associated with and that are close in proximity with. Even though we make up 12 or so % of the United States population, I'm referring to black people, yes, we're going to most likely commit crimes to and with other black people because that's who we are in community with. Yes, there are situations where we venture out to other neighborhoods, but 9 times out of 10, we're going to do another crime with another black person for the most part, especially if you're in a hood. So the mere fact you over here thinking you got some hardcore evidence, like what are we doing here? Like I was not feeling Juke at all this episode. I'm sorry. She definitely is teetering. She about to be on the side of Kanan as me being annoyed with her. What's up, Steven? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. So, Juke, she leaves that conversation very much worried some. And even though she put on a good face with Garcia, because she was like, hey, if I'm guilty, where's your warrant? You know what I'm saying? She's bucking up to him, but you can tell her wheels are turning as she left that conversation. I'm like, Juke, stay with me, Juke. Stay with us, please. So, Kanan, he over here meets with parents, Snap and Pops. And of course, this becomes a very seemingly trivial mind bleep, right? Every time he talks with them, they're always over there just with their manipulation tactics. So Snaps was like, yo, like all your people's ended up dead. And by the time, we over here being, asking our cop friends what's going on with them, it's starting to make us look guilty. Like we got something to do with it. Like the block is hot. And Kanan, I ain't gonna lie, what he said to them was funny. He was like, I'm not asking y'all to open up no task force. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That was funny. 99.9% of this episode, I was annoyed with Kanan, but that was hilarious to me. So, of course, Pop, she thinks she's so slick because she was like, yo, what happened with what we told you about rocking that Puerto Rican kid? Like, what exactly are you looking for, Pop? What update are you looking for? Are you trying to confirm that Kanan's over there still hating his mama, or he's plotting to murk his mama, trying to avenge his best friend's death? Like, you can tell she tries to direct the conversation to keep him focused on the whole famous thing because they're not trying to divulge any information when it comes to Crystal, at least until they come up with a plan to blame Rock as well. And he even said himself, like, yo, I just want to know what happened to Crystal. That's all I want to know. Like, Joe, like, what we doing here? He was like, famous, that was last month's news. I got a new case I'm trying to investigate, and it's Crystal, okay? Like, Kanan don't be having time to processing anything that's old because there's always something new coming up. So, Jesus Christ. Snaps. He was like, oh, I heard you, took a little trip over to the tailor shop. And you and Neek was talking. Kanan was like, Neek was talking, okay? He makes it very clear, right? And so Snap was like, well, honestly, you guys, in a joint business together, that will possibly be a good move. You know what I'm saying? And we want a bigger piece of the pie. And Rock is not sparing any pieces, okay? And the block is seemingly getting very hot over there. And we hungry. We real hungry. And I'm like, Kanan, you done got mixed up with these AARP mofos, and you really have no clue that they've been scheming on you for forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. Right? So Papa's like, yo, we got the connect, we got the transportation, like it's turnkey. Like all you pretty much just gotta do is say less. Like that's all, Kanan. Like everything's already set up. And he was like, so he was even confused. He's like, what y'all care about what me and Neek got going on? And of course they explaining like this can be a beautiful partnership, We can connect you with, I said Neek, Lord Jesus. We can connect you with Neek and our nephew who just relocated from East New York. If y'all don't know, that's Brooklyn. And, we can corner the market, right? And Kanan even said to them, oh, because I'm young, you think you can control me? And see, that's the thing. Ding, 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 ding. Sam, tell them what this kid has won. Like, give this fool a prize, because this is what I'm talking about. Kanan he sometimes asks the perfect questions, but somehow in that brain, he can never formulate the answer. And low-key, I wish Juke would try to be in business with him so she can be privy to these meetings and these conversations, because she will be able to figure it out, because she typically has the answers, but not necessarily the questions. And it's like, Kanan, he be over here having selective intelligence. Because if you can figure that out, you should be able to figure other things out, but you so polluted with hating your mom and all the manipulation and the lies and a distrust, your emotions are all caught up. You just got Carl Thomas on repeat. What's up, Brillo? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. But Snap, you already know, he be bigging Kanan up. He was like, yo, your youth is your greatest asset. That shows, you're not set in tradition. You're not married to tradition. You're pretty much the perfect candidate to run a drug organization. Right? And so this episode made it more clear and more revealing on their mindset and their plan for Kanan from the jump. I believe possibly before, but at least I can say until Ronnie had that party, if not before then, that was at least the point where they was like, yes, we're going to use him to be over here, to be our golden goose. Because I specifically remember they was all around the couches talking about F Rock, right? And they love that. And then to further expound, they was telling Kanan, yo, your father, I don't know if you knew this, I don't know if your mom's told you, but he made us a lot of money, a lot of bread. He was smart. He was kind. He was all the things, right? It was big enough DEF CON. And Pop was like, something that Rock don't understand, because when you disrespect the Negroes that come before you, you disrespect yourself. And I said, this is probably the first issue that they have with Rock. Now, if the rumors are true, or even if they're just merely rumors that Rock took out DEF CON, that's when Snap and Pop started to have a problem with Rock, because they was over there thinking that she over there set up their cash cow. And what I am going to possibly gather, when Rock got the keys to the business, they probably stepped to Rock. And I'm saying this is all assumption, but this is what it feels like to me. They probably wanted to have, a joint venture with Rock. And Rock probably shut them down and was like, nah, I'm good. And then they got a problem and they felt that they was disrespected. So I think from then, they had an issue with Rock. And now they're using her son as a way to get payback and also make some bread. It's giving how grown Kanan was to Tariq. all over again. This is crazy. What's up, Detroit? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. And the fact that they're so harping on Kanan being young and not necessarily connected to his moms and family, they made sure they drove a wedge so deep that they would fracture any possible relationship that he has with his mom, right? And not just his mother, his best friend. Even if Famous was snitching, and Ronnie got, they thought, okay, he bad for business. We gotta knock him off the board, because they constantly tell Kanan, you gotta worry about the company you keep. That goes into Crystal. They probably saw like she a down ass bitch. Okay. And the fact that even though she was a goner anyway, but the mere fact that she was over there telling Pop that told, Kanan that his mom didn't murk Famous, she was like, oh, nah, she definitely can't be around. She definitely can't be around, steer him the wrong direction. Okay. Really not the wrong direction, the right direction. But from Pop's perspective, she don't need nobody being up in his ear. She probably don't want no romantic relationships going on, no babies possibly popping up, because they want Kanan just for themselves. What Kanan's accusing Rock of is what Pops and Snaps is actually doing. Hey, Amina, seen it. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. It's 35 of y'all in here, so please like the video and subscribe if you are not already a subscriber, okay? I appreciate that. So we'll get back to Snap and Pop in a minute. But Neek goes to Teresa Baselli with the weakest violin ever, okay? And he's always, always talking about my family is being threatened, they're in danger, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, yo, what is Phil telling you to do? He was like, Phil telling me to sit tight. I can't do nothing. She was like, yo, Phil has always been hating on my Sally boy. But don't worry about it. I'm going to talk to Phil, and we're going to make sure your family is protected, okay? Because I wasn't able to protect mine. And it was getting kind of cozy, y'all. I was like, neat, what's going on here? I mean, she is definitely giving racist, because the way that she referred to rocking them as animals, I was feeling the way, you could tell Neek was kind of feeling the way, but, he can't worry about racism at this point. So Teresa, she feel like she got to get some type of payback, some type of way. So she's going to stick her schnoz in a situation. But I'm like, Neek, the funny part is you over here telling this widow that you fearful for your family because it was quote unquote, they were threatened. But you really not doing all you can to protect your family, but we know it's BS. You just want the go ahead. You want the green light to get activated. That's all you want. That's all you want. All Raquel Thomas wanted was to early to be off the board. And we finally see Marvin Merc early. Early was over there at whatever motel waiting on his food because he hungry. I believe his homeboy was Calvin. Calvin knock at the door. He upset Calvin took too long. And Calvin took too long because he had company behind him, i.e. Marvin. So Marvin murked the both of them because he can't leave no loose ends, which is a lesson I feel like he should have learned 15, 20 years ago. But that's neither here nor there. He murks them, take their food, and proceed with the rest of his evening. I'm saying, see, Marvin, we should have did this before. But early he's now late. Okay, you guys. So this next scene really blew me, you guys. Like this kind of annoyed me to the pit of my stomach. What's up, Stephen Harris? What's up? So we're at Lamont's diner. This is the family diner. Like, I'm surprised they don't have no stock in this diner or anything, because they always up in there eating or arguing or whatever the hell. So Juke looks concerned. And Rock has a whole totally different mood. She's happy. She was like, oh, it's rare that you over here telling me you want to have talk, you want to have girl time. Like, she was excited to see Juke. Like, we barely get to see Rock smile. But that smile definitely turned within a matter of seconds, okay? Because Juke was like, it's Kanan. So she proceeds to ask Rock what she know about Fame. And, well, Rock actually brought it up first, right? She was like, I know he not still worried about, trying to question if I had something to do with Famous. And so Drew, started to ask her about Fame and Crystal. And Rock was like, hold up, I expect that out of Kanan, but you, my girl? Like, what is going on? Are you smarter than a fifth grader, Juke? Like, what's going on? Like, why you even question me like this? Like, I don't even know where it's coming from. And so Juke started to get a little snazzy with her. And Rock was like, all right, Juke, you already had your 18th birthday, my girl. So that means you need to start watching how you talk to me and what you say to me, because you're technically grown. So if you're going to put yourself in an adult place, you can get these words. I mean, she didn't say that per se. I'm just inserting that in there, but that's how I took it, okay? Because you was over there kind of pussyfooting around in teenage land, but now you over here questioning me like I'm an adult. And this is a problem. And so Juke has this whole mini, monologue, pretty much telling Rock the tragedy of her life. So my whole life, I sat quiet. You never noticed me. The only time you didn't notice me is when I was next to Kanan. Because you didn't see me. But I saw you. Y'all was over here doing what y'all do, and I was over here quiet, just observing, not saying nothing. I'm like, first of all, you had nothing to say because you were effing child. Second of all, okay, and this is the thing. And don't get me wrong, especially in our community, it takes a village to raise a child. Aunties, uncles, grandparents, they step in to raise children all the time. Okay, I'm definitely, understanding of that, right? But it's like Juke is giving Rock the heat that she need to direct towards her parents. Granted, Moms is no longer here, and she probably feeling salty about that. But why are you having this conversation with Rock before you even had with your moms? Hey, Alonzo, what's up? What's up, Monique? I appreciate y'all coming through. And granted, Rock helped raise you. And this is the part where I'm confused, because did you forget Juke? Y'all had the same address at one point when your daddy effed up? When your mom's ran away to California, she was over there screwing the Knicks and the other 28 NBA teams. You remember that? You forgot the meals she cooked, the clothes she put on your back, the ponytail she put in your head. Like, I am confusion. Not saying Rock ain't wrong on Ish, but I feel like the heat she was giving Rock was definitely unnecessary. And I feel like her and Kanan at this point are now on some Siamese twins type ish. Like, y'all not just sharing a body, y'all damn near sharing a brain, because Juke, what the hell? What the hell? Dale said, hey, Marvin was in jail. Exactly. And who picked up the pieces? What old boy, old boy said to Martin, pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces. That's what Rock did. But I'm sure she never really got a thank you. Who was there comforting you with your sexuality, not judging you, but your fathers was over there putting hands on you? Who was over there supporting you with your music group, supported pretty much every decision you probably had? You wanted to go to the good school and get your education on. Who was over there blocking that? Marvin. So I really don't understand what Juke is really talking about. Because I feel like the core of her frustration or annoyance is really the fact that and don't get me wrong, this is not right either. But unfortunately, as the older cousin or the oldest cousin or the older sibling, you got to have to look out for the younger ones. That's just how it is. That's the way of the world. Yes, it sucks. It's frustrating, but that's how it is. And yes, I do feel like Juke probably deserved a little more attention. Probably a lot more attention. But that ain't all on Rock. It ain't all on her. Maybe she can share some of the responsibility. Maybe I'll give her that. But you need to go to grandma, you need to go to your mom's, and you need to go to wherever the hell else. Because all that work for Rock, like you put 20 on 10, Juke. You put 20 on 10. And I get it. You lived a tragedy of a life. But that's not Rock's fault. Like, what are we doing? And Marcus, you saying we giving Rock too much credit. Why shouldn't she get credit? What else was she supposed to do for Juke? Let me know. What else did she owe Juke that she didn't get? Let me know. What's up, Ronald_Roby? Thank you for coming through. You said the point is that she said Marvin changed for her. He didn't leave her. Okay, what does that have to do with Rock? That's Marvin's responsibility. He's her father. Granted, Rock is her family, but that's not necessarily her responsibility. Last time I checked, the responsibility of a child is their parents. And even Rock stepped in to be her full-time parent at one point in her life. Let me see. Alonzo say, I do kind of get Juke. Rock always calling her to ask about Kanan. She never asked how she feels. I'm going to actually have to rebuke on that because she does ask. Now, don't get me wrong. There has been times she would check on Juke and then ask for Kanan. But there was even a time when her and Rock was sitting at that very same diner. And she was like, I'm not here to talk about Kanan. Y'all remember that conversation? She was like, I'm not here to talk about Kanan. I want to talk all about you. All about you. And the 32 teeth we saw in Juke was beautiful. Now, that could have happened a lot more, yes. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, like that's not on Rock. Thank you so much, Ronald Robbie, for the super chat. You said, what about the diamonds and pearls Marvin found? It got to come up. Could Marvin go on a run with the money from the sale? Don't know. Nobody knows he got them. Yeah, I don't know. He could have got like 6 hard bottoms and laundered the rest. We don't know how good Marvin's negotiation skills is in regards to those types of things. So I would hope he got bread from that or was, given a fair price, but as Marvin. So there goes that. I don't know this. Y'all trying to make this into like a book 2 type thing with the ring. Like it could possibly, definitely come back up. But I don't know. Definitely, that's a good point. What's up, Amina? You said it's so weird how she got her first body and then flipped on Rock. It's very much weird, Alonzo, you said Juke not wrong, but she not right either. I don't know what that means. Monica M, you said Juke was on BS. Yeah, a lot of people was on BS. Like I didn't understand. You said Rock snitched to Marvin about Kenya being in town. DeMarcus, get the heck out of here. I cannot deal with you. Yeah, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I just didn't understand this conversation. And don't get me wrong, I consider myself to be objective. So I can see all sides of a situation, multiple point of views. But I just feel she's really just taking on the emotions of Kanan at this point. And not saying she ever had rose-colored glasses in regards to her aunt. And maybe this is a point where she's trying to give her aunt accountability, but she needs to give her accountability on something else, not necessarily raising her. Because her job is what? Raising Kane. And it was never raising Juke, but she also was at a point where that was part of Rock's duty too, but that was a job she gave herself. She could have been like, nah, I'm good. Send her send her to the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, it is what it is. What's up? Is it Sriracha 777? I hope I did not screw that up. He said she was congratulating Juke on making Butter Team 2. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't understand where this heat was coming. Like, I never want to trump on the writing, but I was just confused. But anywho, let's move on. I spent a lot of time on that. Oh, before I do, Rock, she told her, she warned her, like me. She was like, hey, you better be careful what you're saying to me. And she was like, yo, you just like your father. You jumping in itch before you look where you going to land. You sloppy. So Drew was like, I'd rather be like him than like you. Like, don't get me wrong, Marvin has great qualities, but you know, it was kind of a dig, go back and forth. But I think, I don't know, I feel like their relationship can be repaired, especially based on some possible theories towards the end of the episode. But this was very off-putting to me. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like. The scene was great in terms of the acting, but I didn't like the direction we was going at this point. Another interesting meeting between Stefano and Phil, which is crazy. Like, two mob bosses meeting secretly. I mean, I don't think that's kind of like an oxymoron to me, because I don't know. I just feel like y'all always got people watching y'all. You know, assisting y'all on some level. Y'all right hands normally know where y'all are. So if y'all was able to get away in broad daylight in the open park, okay then, whatever. But Phil was talking about how Teresa, you know, ripped him a new a-hole. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she was giving off those 4-letter words. And we learned in this conversation that pretty much New Jersey and New York have been working with each other secretly. And Phil asked Stefano's help to take Sal down. Okay, so we got that confirmation. And they pretty much was just using us moolies to do their dirty work. And you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how it works. And it's so funny, right? And I'm coming to an age in my life where I'm asking my elders a lot more questions and indulging in more stories, right? So just a little fun, I don't want to say fun fact, but something, you know, I was kind of learning. Me and my uncle are very close. Like, he's pretty much like one of the biggest father figures in my life. And my grandfather used to run a number shop, a gambling shop, a couple of them actually. And he was telling me when he was 14, my uncle was 14, that my grandfather took him to, I believe it was Little Italy, and they went to this Italian spot, and he was like, you know, he saw the mobsters and everything there, and you know, because my grandfather worked for them. And I was asking all these questions like, were you scared? But he was like, nah, I mean, I didn't really know how dangerous they were until later on in life. But I don't know, it's just so funny, like how it's a lot that went on with my family in this history. But it's just cool, you know, learning these types of stories, especially, you know, just growing up, how I grew up, and you know, where I grew up. But a little fun fact, I mean, y'all probably didn't care, but it is what it is. But anywho, where was I? Oh yeah, so they pretty much was having a kumbaya, if you will, and they was trying to conclude their meeting, and Phil was like, you know what, I'm gonna give you back Jamaica Queens, and Stefano was like, you can't give me back something that I already had. And then next thing we know, stab. Stabby. And I'm like, bruh, this is what makes the mob weak sometimes on TV, especially in a power universe, because you might as well have stabbed them with a butter knife. Like, what kind of accuracy Oh my, is this your first kill, Phil? Like I'm really confusion. Like this made no sense. Like and you couldn't go to multiple areas in his body. Like it was weird. It reminded me how Dre stabbed up Father Callahan and OG Power because that really pissed me off. I didn't care about Stefano because he can go anyway as far as I'm concerned, but it really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. So let's get to Lulu and Kanan. It seems as though Lulu summoned Kanan to the cafe, right? Because the first, in the first sentence we hear is Lulu telling Kanan, like, yo, I just want to make sure you're making the right decisions because the moves you make now will determine the moves you make later. Okay, that was a bar. I'm like, Lulu, you probably need to go in the booth. Okay, go give the people's 10 heroin commandments or something because you over there spitting facts, Lulu. So all Kanan is thinking about is Rock, just like his stepdaddy Unique. And he's over there asking Lulu, yo, since when you started working with Rock, you talking about decisions. You back on her BS, you working with my mother again. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Kanan, I swear, if I could go in Steve Urkel's time machine and time travel to 1992, I would, because he need to be chopped in the throat real bad. Real bad. So Lulu was like, bro, you over there working with Neek. You working with the ops. And that's real effed up. He coming at all of us. And Kanan was like, he ain't coming at all of us. He only coming at people that's standing with Rock. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not standing with her behind. She killed Fame. And of course, Lou was like, who told you that? Kanan was like, don't worry about that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You spitting out this information, but you're not really showing your sources. Because I'm sure if anybody else besides Juke, who's temporary delusional, would to hear who you getting this information from, they will set you straight. But Kane is so far gone, he's not even going to listen to anybody anyway because he's going to swear they're covering for his mother. And then for the 12th time, he states she killed D-Wiz. And I'm like, bro, D-Wiz, the actor, I hope he getting the check because the amount of times his name is getting thrown into these episodes, it's very much annoying at this point. And Lou even made it clear, like, yo, bro, I told you I murked D-Wiz. Yes, we all know it's from Rock's orders, okay? But it's quite funny that the person you trying to align yourself with was the one that made the call. Kanan, if you knew how the game worked. Yo, homie, fake partner over there, Unique, yeah, he was the one that said the streets needed a body. So you want to blame him and give him accountability? No, because all you care about is blaming your mother. So Lou further explains to him for the 918th time, like, I did it. I could have made a decision to work with your mom to figure out another solution about D-Wiz. I was like, Lou, honestly, I don't even think that would have worked because Rock would have probably had Marvin or somebody else do it because all she was trying to do is protect her son. So that was cute or whatever, thinking you had the influence to change D-Wiz's fate, but that wouldn't have worked out unless we would have found another friend. But Rock, being a vet in the game, she knew and she peeped D-Wiz's she peeped his demeanor. So she knew like he had to go. Because I'm sure he was going to be running his mouth to the wrong person. But Lulu was also spitting some facts to Kanan, things that he needed to hear, because he was like, we men, Kanan, like, nobody tell us what to do. Nobody carry what we done. That's the work, and that's the hardest part of becoming a man. Taking responsibility for your own ish. And that's what I'm finally figuring out. And that's the thing. Lulu is in his mid to late 20s figuring this ish out. Kanan is 17. So it's great that he's able to hear this information, because I'm sure nobody told this to Lou. So you would think Kanan would be ahead of the game, but Kanan is stubborn. He is hard-headed and he's borderline idiotic. So he's not really, that's not going to sink in as much as we would hope so. It's going to take a little bit. But I love the fact that Lou was giving him this information. And then he further explains how Rock was the only one that had a big enough audacity or the big, kahunas to take Grandma Joyce out of her misery and put her down. He explains that Rock was carrying the weight for everyone because Marvin nor Lulu had the ability to do so. Because he, refers to them as being selfish, and Rock was the one being unselfish. And Lulu probably interpreted that as, yes, Kanan, I'm showing how strong your mother is and how she just holds down the fort and takes care of family. But all Kanan is probably thinking, she murked my grandmother too. Like, that's all he probably thinking. That's all this fool is probably fixated on at this point. Because we know I don't want to say I still feel like he loves his mom, but he's so hurt. But the fact that Lou was like, your mother is more of a man than any nigga you know, that was fire. That was fire. And it reminds me of when Kanan told Juke, she the hardest ninja he knows. And that was another reason why I also felt that Rock was giving Juke the responsibility of always looking out for Kanan, because Rock is strong and see Juke as being like her, strong like her. And unfortunately, when you're appearing yourself as a strong Black girl, strong Black woman, you are given more responsibility. Not saying it's fair, but it is what it is. You guys, I'm in the middle of cooking something in the crock pot and I need to stir it real quick so I'm gonna need y'all to just listen to this commercial real quick. Sorry, y'all, if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna need y'all to bear with me for about 30 seconds while I stir my Sunday dinner real quick. So yeah, just look at this clip real quick, because this is what Kanan gives me. Okay, bear with me 1 second, and while I'm away, please make sure you like the video and are subscribed.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
All right, guys, I am back. I am back. Okay, so let's talk about this butter sort of reunion real quick. I believe it's Nakia. She, Juke and Aisha, they're in her office and they're discussing Crystal and her demise, if you will. So Nakia, she's Nakia, whatever. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't recall the pronouncing of her name, but she's pretty much just checking the temperature, making sure they're good. Seemingly, Juke is she's in her own little world, for lack of a better phrase, right? And she's trying to really check on Juke. She's like, Juke, like, something's going on. What's going on with your head, girl? Like, let us in, because she seems withdrawn. And it's interesting to me, right? Because she mentions, like, your cousin was dating dating Crystal, right? And immediately you can kind of see the annoyance, right? And she's like, yeah, she's like, well, how is he doing? Well, you got to ask him about it. Like, it was given, and it may be a little bit of jealousy, right? because it seems though Kanan gets more attention than her. But she's like, damn, here I am with my group, and now Kanan name comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this constant frustration of buying for the attention and the love that she felt like she deserved, right? Because Marvin, he was always kind of dealing with his issues. You know, he didn't really know how to express and have a certain level of intimacy and affection towards his daughter, not until recently, right? They always had that weird, tense, you know, kind of relationship, kind of withdrawn, you know, never really see, I'm sure he never really hugged her or really poured into her verbally or physically. So, you know, Juke has gone through a lot. I would never take that away from her. And I just felt like this scene was to kind of show where her mindset is. Because, yes, it was a little, not saying annoying, but there was a lot of Aisha in this episode. But I feel like that's partly because Aisha is one of the only people that Juke can, I don't want to say be transparent with, because she can't really divulge everything to Aisha, but she could definitely express some vulnerability when it comes to Aisha. And we can get to hear what is in her heart and or in her brain. So I think that's why we've seen Aisha in multiple scenes in this episode, to kind of really see where Jukebox mindset is. Because when she's in a scene or dealing with Kanan, it's Kanan focused. So when she's with Aisha, the conversation and the mindset can be Jukebox focused, right? Because Aisha is more so checking in on Juke and, you know, figuring things out with Juke. Is not really a situation where we're trying to investigate what's going on with Aisha. Hey Shayna, thank you for coming through. DeMarcus, you said Nakia could tell something was different, but Jukebox, yes, and Jukebox said it herself. She was like, well, you know, saying she's different now. She's like, no, I was different before, but now I'm the same again. So I interpret that as Jukebox saying her time with Butter, that was out of the norm, out of character per se. How she was before Butter was in her life and after, that's the real her. I feel like she feels like the Butter situation was kind of an unrealistic thing that she had probably no business thinking that was even possible in the realm of her reality. Of course, we can all interpret things differently, and y'all can chime in and let me know how y'all thought about it. But that's kind of how I took from it. Like, no, this is my reality, and this has always been my reality. Butter was just some distraction. So let's get into the conversation her father had with her auntie Rock. Because Rock is pissed off because I'm sure Marvin gave her the update on the Stefano situation. And Marvin somehow thinks he has the gift of gab so good that can persuade this mob boss to work with him again. And Rock knows he does not. So she was like, nah, you done enough. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Stefano myself, right? And he was like, nah, you know, I done clip early, like we good. She was like, no, day late, dollar short, ninja. Like you are doing things too far delayed. Like this is unnecessary. I don't want to say unnecessary at this point, but it's useless. Your acts at this point, Marvin, is useless. And she scolded Marvin for filth. Like, gosh, Rock has a mouth on her. And unfortunately, she reminds me of how I can be. Because sometimes you can hold things in and have it bottled in so deep to where you get pissed or there's an opportunity for you to release your inner thoughts. You let it rip. You let it rip. You could tell she really hurt Marvin, right? But Marvin's strong. He's tough on some level, but I do feel like he feels a way when Rock says shit like that to him, right? And she also confronts him about possibly taking over the business. And now we know, like, this is probably something that she has been thinking about, but he was like, no, like, Not at all. Like, that's not what I was trying to do. Stefano positioned that to me, and I shut that down. She was like, oh, but you was still over here doing stuff behind my back. So you was over here ruining, sabotaging my business for your business. Like, that's not cool either. And so Marvin was like, yo, you've done wrong too. And don't get me wrong, yes, she has, but that's the annoying part sometimes in the conversation is like, bruh, what does that have to do with what's going on here? Like, you have to take full accountability. And maybe this is the only time he feel like he's feeling comfortable saying this to Rock, because she had made missteps, you know. They still upset about certain things that went on, you know, scrap or what have you. But that was kind of a means to an end, honestly. But it kind of hurt me for Marvin, because I was like, damn. But I'm like, Marvin, you royally effed up though. You stay doing this. That's the thing. Not saying she didn't take pleasure taking out Malcolm, but she took out Malcolm for you. She went through numerous wars for you because you caused it. She's always trying to keep you alive and keep you out of jail. And at some point, you get tired because she's constantly saving you, and she's constantly trying to run this business, but then you going to have making decisions to ruin the business. So at what point it's like, well, goddamn, Marvin, nepotism can't save you all the time, bro. Like, I'm just saying, Monica M said Marvin deserved that. He always doing. That's the thing. It hurt. She definitely had a way with her words. And I still don't even know if that sucked through Marvin's brain at this point. Because for all I know, he can do some dumb-ish tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And he's used to verbal abuse. You can tell. We saw who his mother was. But at the end of the day, it was hurtful. But I get it on some level, because you grown as hell, Marvin. You giving 38, you giving 40. Why me, the little sister, always got to come through and save you? And she mentioned that. She was like, yo, are you mad? You jealous? You upset that I was over here, you know, jumping in line before you? Which I'm not saying that's not in Marvin's head. I don't really think he's jealous per se, because he's mentioned before in the chapel when Lulu was in the hospital, he was like, yo, you better than this at me. You know what I'm saying? He gives his sister all the praise, all the props, right? But I do feel like at some point, Marvin wants to be his own man. He not necessarily just because his sister, he probably wants to be able to take matters into his own hands, his business into his own hands. And, you know, this was not the first time he went his own way. Like we saw last season, he was doing side deals with Aberdeen because Rock was no longer in the business, because he always got to figure out how he gonna eat. But the thing is, with Aberdeen, she was fully aware. He made her aware. He pretty much asked permission to do that. So you go from asking permission to do work with Aberdeen when Rock not even in the business, to over here being quiet about the side business you're doing with her business partner. You know what I'm saying? But I would not be surprised if, you know, there's some ego involved. I get it. It's natural, right? You the big brother. You supposed to be taking care of the family, and you probably like, damn, how did this flip? But you made missteps. You got on that stuff. You know? Labrine Hicks, what's up? Thank you for coming through. Cortland, you said Scrappy and Roller kill for no reason. Yeah, shout out to Roller, man. That was like the first. I'm sure that I think that was the first like manipulation tactic Kanan used against Ghost that resulted in like a kill of an innocent person. Shout out to Rolla. But yeah, I don't know. Do y'all think Marvin and Rock's relationship is repairable? I don't know, for some reason I feel like based on how the rest of the episode goes, I don't know, I was in my head thinking the same question. I don't know, I could possibly see if Kanan becomes the man like that. I can even see Marvin working with Kanan, either, being muscle or something. I could see that. I don't know what Rock's future is in terms of the drug business, because she can't seem to win any longer. And that's another issue when it comes to family and working together. There's no gray area. There's rarely a time you would ever see Rock and Marvin just really just having a brother-sister relationship. It's always business. We never get a chance to, I don't know if I ever seen them let their hair down. We saw Juke and her, performance. That was a good moment. We never got to see her graduation, which was annoying, but it is what it is. It's a drug show and about, about drama and darkness. So they're probably going to limit the good times that we see. But at the end of the day, I don't want their relationship to be fractured, but I don't know if they can continue working together unless he has a smaller role in Rock's organization, if she continues to have an organization. So we see Juke and Aisha, they're comforting each other the way people mourn on this show. Okay, they've been bumping and grinding, and this is another scene where I feel like we get to understand Juke's psyche at the moment. I feel like this is the purpose of her scenes with Aisha. And she pretty much explains where her mindset is in terms of her short-term future, if you will, because Aisha was like, dang, this was better than the first time. Like, I'm gonna need you to be local. Like, New Orleans ain't hitting it like I used to. You know what I'm saying? New Orleans, all right. But this is different, because Juke over there, she in full stub mode. She looking like Cleo from Set It Off at this point. You know what I'm saying? She giving Dickies and a wife beater, okay? Giving full Cleo, okay? So she was, stressed out about her family. She really probably was giving Aisha a good tongue lashing, if you will. So she was like, maybe you need to go get some scholarships or something. Come down back to school with me. And so she was like, yeah, if this was a few months ago, I would have been there. Like swimwear, okay? But I can't leave my father. And she explains, this is where she needs to be, at home with her father. She can't trust Kanan, Lulu, and definitely not Aunt Rock to look out for her father. I was like, you doing too much when you talking about Aunt Rock. You're giving crazy eyes when you talking about Raquel Thomas, Juke. So I'm gonna need you to chill out. I'm gonna need you to chill out on this hatred. Like, it's starting to piss me off. So, she was like, yo, he never left my side, through it all. I went to the army. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, he was always here. And the mere fact that he changed for me, he changed his outlook on life. He thought I was Lebanese, Aisha. My father thought I was Lebanese, living in sin. And he forgave me for that. He adjusted to that. We hug now. We sharing blickies now. We sharing cereal bowls now. Like, we over here bonding. It's the best relationship I've ever had. And of course, me watching this, I'm like, okay, so Marvin about to die in the next 10 minutes. Is that what y'all trying to do to me right now, writers? Because what is all this? What is all this? I was like, yo, you set me up. Yes, Dexter, you said I thought this conversation was foreshadowing Marvin's death. That's what I'm like, what we doing? But, Juke, she said she riding for her dad. I'm not even mad at that, right? I'm not mad. But let's move on, because while they over there doing what they do, the next morning, we outside. Y'all would have to go to Moochie for this, but I think this is like the Jamaica Mall or what have you. It's always a strip in each borough where it's like a shopping district, if you will, that everybody congregates. Harlem, we got Hunt 25th. Bronx, they got Fordham Road. I don't know what the hell Staten Island got, but yeah, you can ask, Davis, Method Man for that. But, this is where everybody congregates, shop, get they drip, style, profile, whatever, right? So Snap and Pops is out there and they're matching fits. And so Kanan pulls up, he looking at his beeper. He was like, yo, like, what's going on with the crystal investigation, right? Because that's all he care about. And they was like, we're shaking some trees, lying their little asses off, right? And so he ain't trying to hear none of that. But anywho, the purpose of this meeting is for Kanan and Branford, their nephew, to lay eyes on each other, right? And so we see Branford pull up loud, low-key obnoxious, goofy, if you will. Like, I don't know, it was giving goofy the way he was bopping his head up in the car. I'm like, who is this fool? Who is this fool, right? Pull up, everybody looking at his whip, you know what I'm saying? He over there, style. He definitely was on another league than everybody else on the block, right? So he pulls up. We get the revelation that his nickname is Breeze. So we get the little music behind everything. So, of course, we get the big Breeze reveal, okay? So I am intrigued how he will fall into and everything. I was never too invested in figure out who he was because I'm like, whenever it happens, it happens. Of all people, I know how important his story is and how integral he is when it comes to Kanan, Tommy, and Ghost, because if y'all don't know, I went ahead and reviewed the OG Power on my channel the past couple of years, so everything is still fresh. I just wasn't pressed to figure out who the hell he was and when he was coming. All right, but now he is here, so I am intrigued, and I hear the the actor, is it Shamik Moore, is everybody's been giving him praises. I'm not familiar with his work. I've never seen the Wu-Tang Saga or whatever else he's been a part of, Spider-Man and what have you. So I'm gonna take y'all word for it that he is a great actor. So I am definitely intrigued on what he's going to bring to the series or the next series, right? So here we hope. Snaps is always on some poetic type ish. He's like, Kanan, his youth belies his success and ambition. He is an ascending young star. And I'm like, shut up, Snap. Like, what are we talking? It's like Snap is always going to go over here just praising you. And then Pop is going to be right there chopping you in the throat. Okay? So, he's telling this to Breeze and he's over there, telling Kanan, he is Branford Breeze, he's both a scholar and a visionary. And I'm like, oh my God, just say they make that bread. That's all you gotta say. If they make bread and they about their business. But Snap and Pops makes it very clear that this is just an introduction meeting and a possible opportunity for a joint venture. So Breeze is looking at Kanan, they both sizing each other up. And Breeze is like, I heard you about all your business. If you agree on that, we agree on everything, okay? And so that's where I'm like, okay, how is this going to go? Because yes, Kanan is about business, but he also be about his emotions, okay? So are you going to be on this Carl Thomas venture or not, Kanan? Because Breeze seems like he may not have time for the shenanigans with the drama with your family. Maybe by the time y'all really get acquainted with each other, you will have the ice box where your heart used to be, and you will not be on this I hate my mother train. Let's just hope. Because we need to make bread and we don't have time, right? So Snap, he states, it's best when things evolve organically. And I'm like, this is not organic. Y'all plan and plotted and scheme your way to this very meeting. From allowing, pretty much sanctioning the offing of Ronnie, making sure Raquel knew you was not going to back them in this war, that your business is strictly with Kanan, always instilling in Kanan that, hey, you want to be your own man, you want to be independent, you want to be by yourself, you don't want to have to live off your family name. You murked his best friend because you always talk about his surroundings and he was quote unquote snitching. You murked his girlfriend because you wanted to confirm that his mother was really his enemy and to make sure he don't have a woman by his side to really steer him any direction other than what you want him to be steered at. But y'all have been plotting and scheming this whole thing for months. Dividing Kanan and his family. Kanan and his friend. Kanan and his girl. And then Breeze asked about, he was like, yo, what's about the other ninja you was talking about? And so Kanan looking like, what? So Pop was like, yeah, Unique, he definitely down with the program. He got the Italian connect. So we going to need him. And then Snap was like, well, at least in short term. So Kanan is really just in this conversation, seemingly trying to process things, but it's still a disconnect on some level, like he's not truly getting it. Because right here, you just heard that the ultimate plan is to connect with Unique. Therefore, you get to connect with the Italians. And then at some point, y'all are going to dead Unique when you no longer need him, i.e. when the Italian connect is solidified. But you peeping all this. You making the facial expressions like you understand what possibly be going on, or you questioning what's going on. But the problem is, I feel like Kanan has so much already in his brain that yes, he's witnessing and inside of these conversations, but everything else going on with his family is hindering him from really understanding how he's being played with his fairly godparents. They have been moving pieces on this chessboard, and Kanan don't even know how to play chess yet. He's still playing Connect 4. He's not even playing checkers right now. They playing spades, he playing Uno. Totally different games. But this is what happens when you stick your baby toe in the game. And my thing is, Breeze, you they nephew. Did Snap and Pops do something to your parents to control you? Like, I don't put nothing past these fools. I don't know what they've done. Did they manipulated him too? He's supposed to be a genius. Did he apply to college and y'all threw away his acceptance letters? Like, I don't know. I don't trust these fools whatsoever. What's up, Booby? Thank you for coming through. You said the puppet masters are not playing. That is facts. So, Kanan, I'm going to need you to stop playing, okay? You have selective intelligence, and I need you to figure this out. I need you to figure this out, because at this point, I can't even trust Juke to do it. Now, if Juke was privy to these meetings and these conversations, maybe, but she is not, because she at this point don't even know what the hell she want to do. But be with her daddy and bone Aisha and eat pizza. Speaking of pizza, Garcia pop up on Kanan while he en route to the projects. I'm like, Kanan, who you about to see? But that's neither here nor there, because Garcia asked him, you know, hey, I need to talk to you about Crystal. We don't get to see that conversation, but I'm sure it's just as vague and manipulative as the conversations that Garcia's been having with Juke. Meanwhile, we see Juke's daddy over there watching Amber getting placed into a seemingly nice environment and nice home. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was kind of happy. I was happy to see this. Marvin looked like he was about to shed some thug tears. And I'm like, oh my God, this is good. Even though Amber got a long, tough mental road because she has been through a lot, I'm just hoping this seemingly nice family do not F her up any further. But I don't know, some reason I keep thinking about Early's aunt, knowing Marvin has a connection to this girl, and somehow this girl or Marvin is going to get into some issues with that. I don't know. I could be reaching, but I don't like the fact that I'm sure, word on the street, that Marvin murked Early, and Early used his aunt to locate Amber. I'm just keeping that in a mental note. Okay. Courtland, you said pretty girl, you know there'll be another show, Power Origins, with Breeze and Kanan goes. Yeah, I do know that. I definitely know that. I'm just saying at this point, since I don't have any scripts or anything, we don't know how much Breeze will be trickled into this show and or Origins, because this is a mere introduction. We don't know if there's going to be a time jump. Like, we don't know how they're going to infuse Breeze into this show or Origins. I'm sure he's going to pop up in Raising Kanan, but as I always state, yes, it's a Kanan-based show, but a lot of the focus is on the previous generation, i.e. Lulu, Rock, and Marvin. Not saying Breeze cannot be intertwined in the show as them, with them as well, but we mainly know and foresee Breeze is going to be a big part of Origins. Dale, you said Amber is gangster, been through hell. It still ain't. Yeah, Amber is a real one. Amber is a real one. I don't know. She may grow up to be the next Colombiana or some shit. I don't know, but I'm hoping she can live a normal life. I don't want her going out like Nicole or whoever. Like, oh Lord, we just gotta pray. She need a praying grandmama, and she don't have one, so we got to use our praying grandmamas. Okay, so let's start to wrap this up, you guys. So Marvin and Juke have a conversation, and Marvin was like, yo, I got in kind of late last night. I heard a little rumblings in your room, like you had company. What's up? And Juke was kind of giving him the side eye, like, don't ask me about that. But he was like, no, this your house too. You can have company, because she grown. She can have a little company or whatever. And so she was like, is Aisha? He was like, oh, Aisha, I didn't know she swung that way. And she was like, well, she's trying to figure things out. And Marvin was like, okay, figured it out. I get it. And this further shows like his acceptance of the whole, Lebanese-ism. Okay. So Juke mentions, she talked to Aunt Rock. And Marvin was like, how'd that go? Because, he already know how his conversation with Aunt Rock went. And she was like, I was asking her about what happened to Juke and Fame. Do you think she has something to do with it? And Marvin was like, hell no, that ain't even the way she swing. Like, I would know. I would know if she did it or not. And I appreciated that, because Marvin, at the end of the day, he's a grown man and he's an F up. But one thing about Marvin, he has integrity on some level, especially when it comes at the reputation of his sister. He's not going to be petty. He's not going to feed off no emotion. He's going to give it the real deal. Even though he ain't rocking with his sister and vice versa, he's not going to alter the view set of his sister and his daughter. Like, he's not going to be messy like that. And I appreciated that. So I feel like Juke, that resonated with her. She's like, okay, I can trust my dad's word, because at this point, or as of yesterday, he works side by side with my aunt, right? So she's explaining like, yo, we both got angry, some words being said, what I'm saying? He was like, yo, it's a lot going on. And she was like, it's always something going on. He was like, nah, not like this. So the scene cuts off, but I still wonder if if Marvin explained how dangerous the block is. Like, the block is beyond hot at this point. So I wonder if he explained, and this will actually be a good time for him to let her know how dangerous the block is. Now, we know Juke stays alive until she's in her 40s, but it would behoove Marvin to explain like, yo, the mob is out there and I am number one on the chopping block. You are my daughter, therefore you need to make sure your head is on a swivel. Like, I hope he's having these conversations with her, because that's one thing I used to hate about Ghost and Tasha. They kept these kids such, it was in a sheltered life, and they was in so much danger all the time, and they were just so ignorant to the fact that they didn't think that their family life could bleed into the street life. And we saw from the that one scene when Dean came to dinner, I think that's when Ghost realized like, oh shit, like my family could be touched. So I'm hoping Marvin is including Juke in these situations on some level. Courtney, you said, dang, I wish the show was first before we saw it. Oh, yeah, that would be fire. But that's one thing I would say a credit to the acting and the writing of this show. Even though we know the main character or two of the 5 main characters of this show, we know their fate, that they still interest us. They keep us guessing and wanting more. It's not like, oh Lord, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not an annoying show. We are just as intrigued as if we don't know the fate of Kanan and Jukebox. That's what makes this show so fire. Let's see here. So Unique goes to see Phil and pretty much gives Unique the green light to do whatever the hell he wants, because he know his life is coming to an end because he did a horrible job trying to end Stefano's life. He's looking very much stressed up in the chest. And of course, that is music to Unique's ears and his gold teeth. Okay. So he's happy. He gets to go ahead to do whatever the hell he wants, and he is going to proceed to do so. Meanwhile, Lou and Rock is at her house and they're discussing Stefano's state because news got around that Stefano got stabbed up, but he has not died. But Rock is operating as if he is dead because she knows, for the most part, business cannot be repaired with Stefano, right? So she's like, yo, we need to hit first and we got to hit fast. So take the nigga out with his knees, i.e. Unique, okay? And you and Lou, he left that room was with the grin. He was like, yeah, say less. Like Lulu is itching to get his hands dirty, okay? So speaking of Nick, we see him and his crew, they tooling up. You know what I'm saying? They over there getting the blickies ready, the Molotov cocktails ready. I'm like, you ain't move on from cocktails. Like, this is your favorite thing. Like, you got some type of fetish, Unique. Like, what's going on? Did you like to touch your, fingers over the fire on the stove and the oven? Like, what's going on? Do we got to unpack this, Unique? Do we have some things to uncover? Because you love fire, low key. So we see Nessa and Romy Rome getting nabbed up by Birilla and Lulu. That was a cute little scene. Birilla's like, nigga, we gotta go, okay? And this is to Unique's detriment. When Rock warned you, that should have been enough for you to make sure your peoples were protected, but you over there underestimating her and focused on how you was body rocking, knocking the boots. You needed to have a bodyguard with Pernessa if she were to leave the house. You got her picking up Romy Rome. She coming and going. You probably not even realize that she's still going to the dialysis center. She not even paying you no attention. Yeah, we got somebody picking her mom's up, but do you know, is your henchman, is he even reporting that Nessa is there? Probably not. Unique, you needed to tighten up, my boy, because your family is running the loose and now they kidnapped because you failed to give them proper protection. This is what happens when a thug gets their heart broken. They can't think straight. So his crew, they burned up the Chinese restaurants. They burned up Stefano's fish spot. Hopefully all the wires that's probably in there will be burnt up too. Okay, get rid of the evidence, even though that don't matter. But anywho, Kanan is at the house, pissed off again because he's stemming from the conversation that he's had with Garcia. And Jukebox, she now has kind of come into light a little more, which is still annoying, but hey, she's coming to the light a little more, and now she's re-questioning Rock's involvement in Crystal, and she's trying to neutralize Kanan. Like, Kanan, we don't know what black female they was referring to. Like, he He's dead set like it's my mother. Now, if they would have said black slender female in a cat suit with a doobie wrap with door knocker earrings and her 4-finger ring had the word Raquel on it, then okay, smoking gun. But we don't know if it's a fat black woman. We don't know if it's a young black woman, an old black woman. We don't even get a age range, even though it wouldn't help because Rock and Pop, I'm sure is with it. No, I don't know. Pop, she's probably in her late 40s. But nonetheless, we are going off of this vague ass description, but unfortunately, that is all Kanan needs. So he's trying to walk out the door. Juke is trying to stop him, and it looks like he was by the air. Hey, Juke, I got the blicky in the hand. I'm gonna need you to tread lightly. Jukebox. So he goes. She makes a phone call. Okay, we don't see who's on the other end, but I'm like, hold up. Why Juke ain't got no whip? Where's your vehicle at, Juke? We know you ain't in the game, but Marvin, can you buy 5 less hard bottoms and silk shirts a month to provide Jukebox a vehicle? And don't get me wrong, not everybody wants to drive. I get it. But in situations like these, we need vehicles. What are we doing here? This ain't no regular family. We a drug organization. Ain't even got to be nothing spiffy. Give me an old Honda Accord for Jukebox. Come on, we got to work on this. So, meanwhile, her daddy over there at the gas station, making sure his fade is right. Next thing we know, we see a horrible drive-by attempt that he escapes. Unique, these Jersey fools ain't about ish. Because what? Why didn't y'all pull up next to Marvin to make sure the accuracy was on point? Like, what? It was no way Marvin should have been able to walk away from that. I'm happy he did. Lord knows I'm happy he did, but come on, son. Like, do y'all really want to murk these people or not? And you just playing for real, Neek? Let me know. We just playing. Let me know. Because this is retarded. So, Rock on the phone. And she talking about how, things about to get real ignorant, okay? Because she has learned that, the Chinese spots has been blowed up, okay? And so I'm assuming she's talking to Lulu because he is her new number 2 at this point. Now, Jukebox made a call. I am able to deduce is either Marvin, but I'm not even going to. I don't know. I feel like it's a small possibility she could have called Garcia out of desperation. I don't like that thought, but I'm not necessarily exiting that as an option. Or if she did call Marvin, couldn't reach him because they over there trying to push his wig back, and then have to call Garcia. Or did she call a cab? Like, I don't goddamn know. She could have called a cab to get over to Rock House to try to meet Kanan because she already know he about to do something ridiculous. So Rock had to enter a phone call because her son over there got a blicky in her face. Asking, why'd you kill her? She like, who? He like, Crystal. She like, boy, I did not kill Crystal. He was like, well, the Popo said it was you. She was like, the Popo lying. And he was like, don't act like you ain't never did nothing. She's like, I done stuff. The people I love. I effed up. But I would never do that to you. I would never hurt you. I have no reason to put down your girlfriend. And so, of course, he's like, I know you killed Fame, too. You probably killed OC. You killed D-Wiz. I'm like, bruh. I think it's time, Kanan, for you to you got to retire D-Wiz. We gotta retire the D-Wiz because that's just you just putting 20 on 10. Now, if you want to add grandma a little bit, I can see that. You could add grandma to the list, even though she has an excuse on that. You know how you got an excuse absent in school? Yeah, she got an excuse next to that. So put a little asterisk next to grandma, but you need to cross D-Wiz off that list. I mean, all of them low-key need to be crossed off the list except for Malcolm Howard, but she has kind of an excuse low-key for that too. So honestly, Raquel really don't have nothing to do. Yeah, you really, this list is kind of flawed, Kanan. But hey, this your brain. This is what we got to deal with. So he proceeds to tell her that he's always protecting her, always trying to think of excuses to, figure out if she did it or not, because, he don't want to believe she did it. But of course, and yes, I feel like on some level, Kanan has tried in his own way to try to reject these feelings he's having towards his mom. And like I said, he's an idiot, but I understand his psyche on some level because he has been twisted up and manipulated so much. He don't know what to think. But at the same time, he's not allowing himself, and this is due to age and experience, but he's not allowing himself to really think logically about some things. So he's like, yo, I'm done with making excuses for you and me. And that's partially due to the conversation with Lou. And he's like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I don't want you hurting nobody else. Because everybody else I seem to love and care about, you take them away from me because you just want me to yourself. I'm like, Kanan, you not all that. Like, come on now. You ain't that great of a son, Kanan. Like, come on now. You doing too much. You doing too much, Kanan. You not that fire of a son, okay? But this is what his mind is thinking, so I'm going to let him rock, okay? No pun intended. So at this point, Rock was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to put my hands up to the Lord, child. Let me close my eyes and just whatever this boy end up doing, he just going to do because I'm tired. I'm tired. Erwin done cursed me out and told me about myself. Marvin done stressed me out, okay? Like, you over here doing whatever the F you want. Unique, okay, he over here tripping. Like, the only person that ain't causing me no drama is Lulu at this point. So I might as well just forget. I'm just going to give up. I might as well just give up because what am I doing all this with? And at some point, you got so much going on in life. Sometimes you probably got to question, what am I doing all this for? Is it worth being in the game anymore? Because being in the game is really not no added benefit in life. So she closes her eyes. We see his facial expression kind of shift while he's holding the blicky, because he's holding the blicky for about 17 minutes at this point. And I'm like, people, when they talk so much, and this is pure Power. I mean, there's other shows that do this, but specifically Power, when people want to have a monologue and have a speech, when they got a blicky in someone's face, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be disarmed or something goes awry to where they do not really successfully catch a body. But we don't know because the screen went black and then we heard a shot. I don't know if somebody else was involved and inside of the house. We know Juke called somebody. I don't know if it was a cab. I don't know if it was Marvin. I don't know if it was Garcia. Garcia, like I said, that's an option for me in my head, but I feel like that's a risky move. But hey, I feel like at this point, she was desperate to call somebody. But let me know if y'all think Raquel is gone to the lower level, because I don't think she went to the upper room if she went to the upper room. So put a yes or a no if you think she gone. I would like to know y'all thoughts on that. Also, if y'all don't mind, let me know your rating for this episode, because I'm not even gonna hold you guys. When I saw the credits, I was like, are y'all for real? Like, is this is that it? Like, is that what y'all giving me? Because it's like y'all didn't really close anything. Unique haven't learned about Pernessa. I would have loved to see that. There was real no conclusion when it comes to the mob. Now, I was happy the fact that nobody from the Thomases died. I was thankful for that. But we could have did without the drive-by situation with Marvin. That was kind of pointless. And yeah, like it was not a lot of conclusion. They gave y'all Breeze. I'm not including myself because I didn't really care like that. They gave y'all Breeze. But there was a lot. I feel like this was one of those episodes. You know how back in the day, there would be a show. It would be like a two-parter. It would be so good. They'd be like, to be continued. And then next week, we get the second episode. Like, that's how it felt. But instead of that, we got to wait a year and a half for the second part of the episode, which is technically season 5, episode 1. But watching it a second time, because I was pissed off, right? I mean, it was still a good episode, but for me, it was not as good as the finale. Because for me, episode, great. Finale, I was a little annoyed. Also at the storyline, oh, we're going to have another kid, murk another parent on the show. Like, who on a writer's team need therapy? Sasha Penn, you got mommy issues? You got daddy issues? Like, who is it? Because I'm tired of this recycled thing. Like, y'all can say it's a thread, yes, but it's still annoying. Like, we can't get creative. But nonetheless, I love Raising Kanan. I love the season. Great season. I would probably give the finale 7.5. Maybe 8. That's the thing. A Jukebox annoyed the hell out of me. Kanan annoyed the hell out of me. Like, it was a lot of frustration. Like, thank God I got asthma because I would be smoking cigarettes. Let me see what y'all talking about before I get out of here. Mr. Dub, what's up? You said I give it a 7. DeMarcus, you give it a 9. Dale, you said, nah, Rock's still alive. She gotta suffer addiction or jail. God, dog. I never thought the addiction angle. That's interesting. I'm not saying that's off the board, but I don't see that. If it would be, I would feel like it would be like painkillers or something like that. I don't really see Rock doing hard drugs. Not saying is off or anything, but I don't know. I don't see that. RC 7.5. JTB more ATL. What's up? You said Rock is not deleted. Yeah, I don't feel like she's gone. Dexter, you said, how would I rate this season? I feel like I did. So this probably was after or before I said anything. RC season was a 9. I agree. Stephen Harris, you give it a 9. DeMarcus, you said Be Real or Survive Team B. Mr. W, yeah, Stefano's still alive too. Yeah, that was annoying. Cause Phil, what the hell? So Marcus, you said season finale was a 9. DeMarcus, you said people don't like being different. The episode was a solid 9. Dale, you said you only said that because Thomas families have their vices. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Rock's her vice was money. It was giving the Locks and Biggie Smalls money, power, respect. You know, that was her vice. But hey, addiction is definitely I feel like it's hereditary. Ronald _ Robbie, a 9. Okay. Courtney, you said, so Rock killed her baby with Unique. I wanted to see who baby that was. No, it was definitely Unique's baby. Especially with the conversation that she had with Juke in the car. Definitely Unique. Rock ain't even got no time to be out here swinging that pee all over the town. Like, you know, she loved Unique. She still love Unique. That's why they low-key can't even murk each other. I just, that would have been another satisfactory moment if they would have like had a scene where Unique finding out that Nessa and Romy Rome was kidnapped. I would have been cool with that. We couldn't even got that. We gotta wait 2026 for that. Have we not been loyal enough, writers? Come on, son. What are we doing? Alonzo, you said episode was 9 out of 10. I just don't think they should have introduced leaf blower Breeze this season. I mean, yeah, cold front, warm front, whatever you want to call him. I'm not mad, but I feel like they could have waited to season 5 because nothing happened. I mean, it was just a mere introduction, but I think that was just to satisfy the people. That's all, because everybody, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people was obsessed with the Breeze character. Courtney, you said Marvin already shot at Unique's son. Now they kidnapped someone going to die. Yeah. Romy won't be out of here. I think they're going to be fine, though. I don't know. Who knows? B Rilla as a kidnapper, I don't know. He ain't really fared well in the breaking and entering robbery game. So I don't know how well he's going to be as a kidnapper. Okay. I can see him very much well trying to hit on Pernessa. She find her little bag with the blicky. She asked to go to the bathroom. Next thing we know, because Lou probably out handling business, and somehow he unties her. She murks him, and her and Romy Rome get the break free. Like, I can see that happening. And that will be the B-roll of B-Rilla. Dexter, you said Jerome looks bigger than Breeze. That's fire. Alonzo, you said, why y'all hate on B-Rilla? We not hating, but facts are facts. He's not the greatest of the criminal. Have we not seen what happened this season? Okay. We met the boy. We met the poor boy in prison. Getting caught isn't his nature. Okay. So he made multiple mistakes. Clearly, he was in prison for one crime, got out, committed a whole nother crime. Therefore, Lou had to commit a crime. So he's not only committing crimes on his own, he's responsible for other crimes that people are committing. Why y'all not understanding this? 1 + 1 is 2. Oh gosh. Alonzo, you said y'all love Marvin after multiple F-ups, but B-Rilla one failed robbery and he no good at this life. I didn't dislike B-Rilla. I like B-Rilla's character. I don't have no issue with him. Nor do I feel like I'm connected to him. I mean, he's been in our lives for 2 months, you guys. Marvin, 4 years. You know what I'm saying? We have more content when it comes to Marvin. And we give Marvin that smoke. I gave Marvin that smoke. I don't even know, probably minute 50 of this live. So he definitely is held accountable. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all coming through for this breakdown of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 10. Again, thank you, Power Writers, for allowing us to experience such of a great show. I'm going to see how I feel after Episode 1 of BMF. And then you guys will know if I decide to review it or not. If I do, just know I'm not going to be up here for 2 hours talking about it. I refuse. Unless they decide to give us some sort of masterpiece, then that's different. But I have to go. I have to finish cooking. I have so many unanswered calls and texts that I got to respond to. So I love you guys. I thank you so much for rocking with me every Sunday. Y'all could be a regular church, but y'all over here trap church with me. So I appreciate y'all really holding it down with the super chats, super stickers, just commenting, watching, liking. Like, that all means a lot. And I'm not just talking about the YouTube algorithm. I'm just talking about just me as a whole, as a content creator, as someone here, just merely talking about the same show we all watch and me just merely giving my commentary on it. The fact that you guys care enough to discuss it with me and listen to me rant every Sunday, that means all the while. Because if y'all did not show up, I would not show up. Please believe, okay? Because yes, we all taking time out of our day to kind of be in community with each other and find something in common that we love, even though we may not have the same mindset or viewpoints and favorite characters. That makes it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all agreed on the same thing, that would be boring. And I appreciate y'all always being supportive, always being mindful and respectful in the chat. And the people that are not chatting, that just be listening, I appreciate y'all too, because I understand some people are shy or just don't feel a need to comment, and that's fine, right? So, yes, y'all, I appreciate it. Just know that I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a great week. And next week is Memorial Weekend, so y'all be safe as well. Thank you, Stephen Harris. I appreciate it. Thank you, Monica M. You have a great day. Thank you, DeMarcus. I appreciate y'all. And y'all will see me around. I'm working on editing vlogs for my other channel, which is Channeling Chanel. That's the word channeling. And my name, Chanel, Chanelle. There's some vlogs already up on there. I'm working on editing. Once I am done, and I will definitely share this in this community tab on this channel, so y'all will be aware. And yeah, I'll be around. Like I said, before I apologize, I don't be on here as much as I used to be, but I just have a lot going on. Life is lifing, a lot of life events going on. So just know I'm here as much as I can be. And if I can be here more, I will. And I may be doing some more pop-up lives, some more random lives, chit-chat lives like I've been doing last year. So you never know. I'm going to be here. So if you don't mind rocking with me and subscribing or staying subscribed, I would appreciate that. I do have a Raising Kanan video that I am working on. I'm 90% sure it's going to be a video and not a live. So be on the lookout for that in the next week or so. Not really going to tell what it's going to be about necessarily, because I've had people steal my ideas in the past. So I am very protective of some of my things. But at the end of the day, y'all will see another Raising Kanan video or two in the next week or so. So thank y'all so much. I love y'all, and enjoy the rest of y'all's week. Okay. Toodles.